Hey, what's up, dudes? Alright, it's super late stream for me, but I want to get something done, at least an hour. So we're probably just gonna smash an hour, and yeah. So yesterday we did some more working on clicked card logic, choose multiple cards logic, click card active logic, all that stuff, and we stopped at line 823 in progression. I don't remember us stopping at that spot. Let's see if that's actually true. I'm dumb. Like, come on, dude. How long you been doing this? Alright, here we go. Yeah, okay, so this is where we stopped. And let's read what we wrote. Okay, so we have below 2 lines, review this concerning changes made to click card active setter, derivative settings, etc. Also have to figure out how we are going to change click card active back to false whenever choose multiple cards is equal to true. Because currently the event handler section, which triggers that, doesn't do so whenever choose multiple cards is equal to true. See line 1053 in GamePy in relation to this. Unsure of if this would encompass these instances, or if it would be better to just have choose multiple cards setter handle setting click card active back to false whenever choose multiple cards was being set to false, as was previously implemented. So yeah, we have like we have this scenario where we have, let's say, three different parts here. We have the event handler. We'll just call this EH. And the event handler function handles whenever click card active is equal to true, it will wait for you to click a card, and then when you go to click a card, it will check if choose multiple cards, which is CMC, is equal to true. If it is equal to true, then it will not touch click card active. So CCA remains true after this. But whenever CMC, scenario 2 is when click choose multiple cards is equal to false. If CMC is equal to F for false, then what happens is you get click card active gets set to false. Now, also, so these are two different scenarios here, and then over here, this is the click card active setter. So we'll just call this CCA, and whenever you set click card active equal to false, that means we will then check if choose multiple cards is true. If it is, if it's equal to true, then we're gonna go ahead and change it back to false. So now, anytime you change click card active to false, you also get choose multiple cards set to false if it is true. Okay, and then now we have choose multiple cards, and choose multiple cards, its setter previously did the same thing to where whenever you set it to false, it literally does the same exact thing. So you could just like copy this. It will change. If it's equal to false, then it will make CMC, or rather it will check to see, like, if you're setting it to false, if you're setting choose multiple cards to false, it will then check if click card active CCA is true. If it's equal to true, then it's gonna set it to false. But we don't even really need to check if it's equal to true. Well, yeah, we do, because that would be just like bad logic. We don't want to change something to what it already is. That's not cool. And because that's just extra data exchange. So yeah, we actually do want to check if click card active is equal to true, and then if so, we would change it to false. And I'm pretty sure doing this would make it so that all the bases would be covered. You know what I mean? Like every time click card active and choose multiple cards would always be properly set, because we would set them to true in the fourth location, which would be like progression pies, or the progression file. So we just call this prog. In progression throughout the game, we will frequently change CCA to true, and then, you know, we'll do the same thing with choose multiple cards. We'll set choose multiple cards to true. But as far as setting them to false, we don't do that in progression. So the question is, when does it get set back to false? And really the only time that this gets set to false is through these setters over here that we just talked about, the choose multiple cards and the click card active setter. So it's this associated setters that will handle it. Well, for click card active, actually the event handler would also change click card active to false, but that's only when choose multiple cards is equal to false. Whenever choose multiple cards is true, click card active remains true. So then when would it get set back to false? Well, in the choose multiple cards setter. Choose multiple cards setter, whenever we set it to false, would check to see if click card active is true, and most likely it will be, and then it will set it to false. So there you go. And I feel like through that way, doing it like this, we always ensure that these two attributes are getting set back to false. Yeah. Yep. I believe it. So I think we can roll with that. I don't think we need to. We'll review everything real quick just to make sure it checks out. But I do believe that it will check out. I wonder if I can hear myself here. Okay, yeah. I my volume was turned really low. I just wanted to make sure I could actually hear. Alright, there it goes. Okay, so let's get rid of this, and we can actually just exit out of that. Alright. So also we have to deal with the issue of this below two lines. We have to review this. So this is in progression, and we are setting click card active to true, and then we're setting choose multiple cards to true. And I don't know why would that be problematic? What's up with it? Like, what's wrong with that? Oh, I know, because we have the multiple choice function. Well, click with game click card like for current game and click card list. So the multiple choice function is going to trigger multiple choice active, right? Isn't that what's going to happen here? The multiple choice function. Why is it multiple choice if there's only one option? I'm confused here. So everywhere else, multiple choice function takes two arguments for whatever reason. Okay, yeah, something's up with that. So this one right here, we only have one. Multiple choice. We don't have two. Thank you. Okay, so we have game 1, string 1, string 2. Game 1 multiple choice text equals string 1. String 2 is not equal to no. And then we just will say while multiple choice active is true. But do we really? I guess we don't. I mean, I'm just wondering, like, is that what this is intended for? We do have, like, code in it to where it could only utilize one string. This is interesting. If string 2 is not equal to none, game 1 multiple choice text 2 equals string 2. Game 1 multiple choice active true. Alright. So yeah, there's a way that you could just pass in one. So this is actually fine. I guess there's not another like alternative to using this, is there? And yeah, this logic actually checks out because multiple choice is going to trigger the while loop, and then click card active and choose multiple cards are going to be set to true, and that's going to allow them to click with their cards that they want to use. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, it's fine. So that's good logic. I don't see anything wrong there. Review this concerning changes made to click card active. Don't forget to finish associated section in event handler. Okay, true. I don't think I'll forget that. So now we're gonna go over to choose multiple cards, and why do we have two of these? Oh, so one's for the getter, one's for the setter. So you have to choose multiple cards. Setter, what are you gonna do here? Core func type vowels equal to tuple. Equals true. So if we're setting the val equal to false, then that means we're done choosing multiple cards, and that means this would trigger click card active being set to false. So like we have a little bit of circularity there though, where click card active is going to get set to true. We're going to click a card. Let's say choose multiple cards is also set to true. Then whenever we click our card, it's going to see in the event handler section that choose multiple cards is true. So it's not going to set click card active to false after you click your card. It's going to leave it active. And then when you're done clicking your multiple cards, you're going to set it back to false. Now, when is that set back to false? That's a question we have to ask. When is choose multiple cards set back to false other than the card active setter? Because something's not right with that. Is it? Something is not right with that. Like it's not gonna work. Because if the only place choose multiple cards gets set to false is inside click card active setter, and in that instance we wouldn't activate the click card active setter. So like that raises the question of, well, when is choose multiple cards going to be set to false? So let's look up choose multiple cards and see when is it changed to false. So whenever multiple choice active is equal to true and click card active is true, or choose multiple cards is true, that will set click card active to false, and then choose multiple cards to false. But derivatively clears clickable card list. I don't think that's true anymore. Yeah, it doesn't clear clickable card list. We're gonna let that be handled by click card active. Click card active is always gonna handle that. So this is gone. If choose multiple cards is equal to true. So this isn't true anymore. And really in this section we don't want to lump them together like this. This should be if click card active is true. Well, honestly, should we do it at all? But if we are gonna do it, then they should be done separately from one another, like that. So if click card active is equal to true, then set click card active to false, and if choose multiple cards is true, we'd set that to false. But since that gets derivatively handled by the click card active setter, then why would we do it immediately after? You see what I'm saying? So this is actually you know, this would derivatively sets choose multiple cards to false via the setter in the case it is set to true. But we really need to ask is like, should we do that? In the case that multiple choice active is equal to true, should we do this? Let me clarify. Should we actually set click card active to false here? And we'll come back to that. Let's continue with the choose multiple cards thing. So we're trying to see everywhere that it's changed to false, and so far the only place that it's changed to false is in the click card active setter, and then okay, so it's set to false after, so this is what we want, like this is how it should be, is after the event you know, and you could have said this is how we should have always done it, like in all places we always should have just let it be handled through the progression places, like that set it to true, we would get them set back to false explicitly. But that would, you know, that means we would have to write the code a few more times, which was really not a big deal. Ultimately, like, we probably should have just let it be handled in that way. So we have to add in logic for sure. That's gonna make sure whenever choose multiple cards is set to true, it ends up getting set back to false in all instances, and same thing for click card active. So we just have to do a review of that. So let's go up here, actually we'll put this in the in the current issue right here. So click card active and choose multiple cards back to false. Ensure that in all instances we are setting these headers back to false after associated sections are run in etc. Yeah, because although they do take care of each other through their setters, that doesn't mean that they take care of themselves, you know what I mean? So like, they still have to be set back to false at some point. And I have to use the restroom, so I'm gonna do that real quick. Alright. So let's do that now. Let's choose multiple cards first. And we're going to put equals true. We're going to see every place that happens. So we're only showing 2 locations. That might be true. Let's check this out. So this is in play 2. If game selected choice is equal to play cards or reroute discard is equal to true, click at least 1 card is false, while click at least 1 card is equal to false. Which card would you like to play? For current card in player hand, copy. We append the card to the clickable card list. Then we set click card active to true. Choose multiple cards to true. And then the multiple choice function, which will enter in its own while loop. And then with the game, click card list lock. So once they're done clicking all their cards, they will click place selected cards, and then it will use the click card list. It's going to append each card to the pre-sort play cards. Alright. Check if the length of the pre-sort play cards is greater than 0. Click at least 1 card is equal to true. If reroute discard is equal to false, it will return invalid play check and sort current player. Okay. And then else you must play at least 1 card, and then it will ask them to which card would they like to play. Now I wonder about the logic of this section, because wouldn't the clickable card list, well, so this was where we were making multiple choice function handle click card active and choose multiple cards. And you know, it just depends on whether or not choose multiple a multiple choice function should do that, because we could very easily have that just done, you know, in 2 lines immediately after, explicitly right here, where we change it to true and then we change it to false, you know, like down here, whatever, instead of having it done through the setter. You know, that is complicated, I agree, but the reason that we do that is for multiple use. It's so that we can use it, we can write it once and it's used multiple times. Now in this case, it's choose multiple cards is only used twice apparently. I thought it was used more than that. So in hindsight, I probably would have just explicitly wrote out in those two places, you know, where it should be set back to false. So that was just kind of dumb, a dumb oversight on my part. So let's look at multiple choice function and see I don't like that it does it. I don't think it should do it at all. I'm just gonna say straight up, I don't think we should not. Multiple choice function, choose multiple cards and click card active are like directly related to each other, but multiple choice function is not related, and adding logic that would handle those attributes inside of the multiple choice active setter is not good. They're not related enough. So we are going to remove it completely from the multiple choice, which is multiple choice active. So we're gonna choice active def. We're gonna find it, and well, wait. This isn't in the setter, is it? Where was that done? It was done in multiple choice function. No. Oh, that's event handler. I remember now. Okay, so it's let's see. Multiple choice active. And then it's gonna be in game. And it's gonna be flying right past it. Okay, here you go. If mouse button down and multiple choice active is true. Yeah, this should not even happen. We put this for the case when the player chooses multiple cards as finalizing their selections. Changes, click card active to false as it remains active. Yeah, and you know, this is just like the putting the choose multiple cards and click card active relationship in the setters is already pushing it as far as like should we have done it, but this is definitely like no. To be able to meld or opt, because this only happens one place. 1180, so let's just see 1180, and that's probably the one we're dealing with. Okay, so the lines have changed since then. So for this right here, shouldn't we use the multiple choice function here? Isn't this what oh, okay, I put a note. Do not change. I left this as it is on purpose. This section is specifically written out different than other places where I replaced the below line with the multiple choice function. This should remain as it is, but why? Okay, because we want to use we want to use we want to use the click card active while loop. This is because we want to use the click card active while loop instead. I'm pretty sure that's why. So the implication here is that whenever, see, there's assumed logic here, and the assumed logic is that whenever I am dealing with click card active, like currently multiple choice active and click card active are both set to true. So whenever it's waiting for us to click a card, but if we choose the multiple choice text option instead, that's not gonna cause that wouldn't cause click card active to be changed to false. Only clicking a card would. So we have it set to where the multiple choice active, whenever we choose a multiple choice option, it checks to see if click card active is also true. And if it is true, we set it back to false. But I am not sure about doing that. So there is actually two locations where we do this. So the first one is, well, one of them is the one that we just read, and then there's the second one, choice active equals true. Okay, so this is the one. And then there's the other instance. Let's write this down. 1, 2, 3, 1, and this is in ProPy. And then we have this one is actually through the multiple choice function. See, my concern is that it would errantly set click card active back to false when it should still be true. You know, you see what I'm saying? Like, and if it's not necessary, I mean, we do use it in 2 places, but all of this complicated logic, and all it would take is like 1 location where we can review though. Let's just be careful. This one is safe. So this is whenever they successfully drew the face-up discard from discard pile. You can pick up the, so this one should be safe. Click card active isn't gonna be active there. And then this one is, since your only card is of the same rank as your existing meld and your matching meld has 6 cards, you can add to them on the created card Canasta. Would you like to do this? Okay. We have a yes or no. That one should be safe as well, since your only card is the same rank as your existing meld. You can add to the meld the created card Canasta. Yeah, click card active is not active at this point. And then this one, you have a wild card that can be added to one of your meld that has 6 cards in it. Would you like to add it? And yeah, right here, click card active isn't. So that one's safe. Because if you have a card that can get to others to reach the required Canasta to go out. That one should be safe. No, I don't like it. I don't like it. I just don't. I don't want it. Nope. Nope. I don't care. We're not doing it. We're gonna go to that spot. Multiple choice. Active. We're gonna remove that code. It's not a good idea. Alright, where is it? Yeah, so if mouse button down and multiple choice active is true, we don't want to do anything to click card active. We're going to disable it. We're going to get rid of it completely. And then we're going to make sure that choose multiple cards gets set back to false on its own. Okay, so this is where we set it to true. This was where it was previously set back to false through the multiple choice event handler, but we're gonna change that. We're gonna make it to where choose multiple cards gets set back to false manually. So after this, we're gonna set choose multiple cards to false, right? Easy. Now I just want to make sure the choose multiple cards doesn't reset the clicked cards list, does it? Okay, if it's set to true, it does clear the click cards list, but if it's set to false, it does not. Okay. Alright, so then this is the other one. Choose multiple card gets set to true. And okay, and then we set it to false, and this is gonna derivatively set it. So yeah, now this setter, we can come back here and we still need the change from dirt check bool. And if we're setting it to false, then we would also want to check the bool and set click card active to false. There we go. All that fucking hullabaloo just to go back and whatever, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. Okay, so if we're setting, and alright, we've got to avoid circularity here. Alright, don't forget, avoid circularity, avoid circularity. I already put it in things to do. Event type is mouse button down, click card active is true. Okay, so we moved this to click card active setter. So event handler sets click card active to false in the case that we clicked a card and choose multiple cards was false. And so click card active remains true. And then when choose multiple cards is set back to false, it will trigger click card active being set to false in that instance. There we go. Done. Alright, so now we just have to ensure circularity. So let's just do that. So we're going to go over here. And we're going to go to choose multiple cards. So I want to make sure we're not circularly gonna operate on this. So whenever choose multiple cards is set to false, if click card active is true, it's gonna set click card active to false, and then that's gonna call the click card active setter and that is gonna see if it's being set to false, and then it's gonna check if choose multiple cards is true. But choose multiple cards isn't gonna be true in this case. It would already have been set back to false, so we wouldn't have circularity on that end. Now if we started with click card active setter and we set that to false, and then choose multiple cards would be set to true, we would first set click card active to false. So then it's gonna go to set choose multiple cards to false. So whenever choose multiple cards setter checks oh, see, so this is the logic we forgot to add. If we're changing choose multiple cards to false, we don't want to set click card active to false unless it's set to true. So in this case, click card active would be false first. Card active would be set to false first. So then it would set choose multiple cards to false. Runs the choose multiple card setter. It's going to is set to true. If it's set to true, say if card is equal to true. Do we do this? We have that logic implemented. Choose multiple, rather. So there we go. We finished that. And now we need to do game testing. After click card active and choose logic test before going further to ensure these event handler separate changes didn't cause new bugs. But before we can do that, we actually have to finish section in event handler, which we are basically done with, but we didn't like finalize it completely. We'll do that next time. So we're gonna go to devlog since we're done for the day, and we're gonna put our time in. So 8:06. So we did an hour and 8 minutes. Which is basically an hour. And we finished rework and review of choose multiple cards. Choose card active. I'm like, what is choose card active? Is that even a thing? Now we're gonna stage and commit our changes. So this is gonna be 808. So let's copy this devlog. We're going to go over here. We're going to ensure that we're in the root of the project directory, which we are. So we're going to get branch to check that we're on the right branch. We're going to do get add to add in everything. We're going to do get commit -m, double quotes, paste in our devlog, finalize that, commit, 4 files changed, 17 insertions, 30 deletions. Now we're going to get push Canasta secondary to push to the remote repo. And this is gonna be successful. Now we're gonna exit out of this, going back up here, programming, projects, Canasta, go back out to the backup, delete the old one, and paste in the new one. And we forgot to go into it and check the log. And 10/16 is the date today, so we did that properly. Let's change this to have 10/16.